All right, what's up, everybody? I'm watching these kids these days, and it amazes me that we survived the shit that we went through as kids. Now all these kids got all these electric scooters and e-bikes and skateboards and all kinds of shit. But we didn't have that. We had foot power. We went, and we get up to a minimum going down a damn hill, and we'd have a blast. Get down to the bottom of the hill, we turn around, walk the thing back up, and do it again. Sometimes, depending on where you lived, depending on who you knew, they had a lake or a pond down there, and we'd have a ramp that just went right up the end of it. So we had like a 4 foot, 5 foot ramp at the end of the fucking culvert, and there was a big ass pond there. But we had the time of our lives. Man, come on. And we'd have the family out there. We'd be barbecuing and cooking some fried chicken and having some ribs or some fucking pork chops on the grill or something like this, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, whatever. We were having the time of our lives. Those kids, we tore it up. See, back then, let me start from the beginning. Back then, we didn't wear knee pads. We didn't wear elbow pads. We wore flip-flops with shorts that were above our knees about 6 inches and a fucking tank top. And when our parents said, "I don't want to see you till dark," when they said that, we knew where we were going. We went to our best friend's house. Wherever the fucking bikes were parked out on the fucking driveway or in the middle of the fucking street, you seen 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14 fucking bikes there. You knew where the group was. You knew where the standpoint was. You were hanging the fuck out for the rest of the night until that street lamp came on. Now, some of us, we knew what time that street lamp came on. So some of these kids today don't know that value of that. If you came home before that street lamp went on, you were good. If you came home a minute later when that street lamp came on and you came up the door late, you had a fucking hand. You got your ass whooped.
Okay. It's not.
So some of these kids these days, now they're riding electric scooters. Like, shit. We had foot pedal power back then. We were Flintstoning that shit. Like, man, these kids these days got it going on, man. I wish, in some ways, I'm glad I lived in the era I lived in because I learned better. I knew the consequences of fucking up and finding out real fucking fast. Because trust me, I got my knees skinned, I broke bones, and these days, parents have consoled their children. "Oh, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine." No. Back then, my mama was like, "Oh, how'd that feel? Did you learn your lesson? You going to do that again?" Things like that. Like, you fucked up and found out, didn't you, child? Are you going to do that again? No. I didn't think not. So, think about what you're going to do the next time if you want to fuck around and find out. They didn't say it to us like that, but we understood the fucking point of it. But, earlier, about, I'd say, 20, 30 minutes ago, I got this little kid, one of my uncle's neighbors. He's trying to ride a foot pedal scooter for the first time. He didn't know how to fucking do it. And I'm like, "Kid, look, alright, so I didn't have it, we didn't have it like they do. You just hit a button and the motherfucker goes. No, we had foot power. We Flintstone that shit. And the biggest hill we found was the biggest motherfucking hill we went down because we wanted to prove to all of our friends and the girl we were trying to impress and shit like that, I'm the bee's knees, you gotta pick me, this type bullshit. No. These fucking kids had a button on the side of a goddamn handlebar, and some bitches are flying like 15, 20 miles an hour already. So I'm trying to tell this kid, I was like, put one foot on the board, hit the button just a little bit, and once you start going, pick your other foot up. This kid fell like 5 times. And I'm like, no, kid. So no, my dumb ass, thank God I didn't fall, thank God I didn't trip myself, thank God I didn't fucking fall and bust my fucking face open. I got on this thing and showed this kid how to do it. And this fucking tiny ass little scooter is like fucking 3 feet shorter than me. Like 1.5 feet shorter than the scooters we used to fucking have. And I'm like, yeah, I can do this. Sure shit, you know what? For the first time I ever jumped on one of these little bastards, I took off on this bitch like a bat out of hell. So I showed this kid what it was like when I was a kid. He's like, Mr. Jason, he's like, I didn't know you knew how to do that. I was like, well, kid, you got to listen to the ones that are telling you everything around you. We ain't telling you for shits and giggles. We're telling you because we already know. We already been there. We already found out. We already fucked up and came back from it. So, kid jumps on it for the first time. I said, put your foot down. He put his foot down. I said, grind it in a little bit. I was like, rub your heel into the board. Make sure you got a good stance. He said, okay, Mr. Jason, I got it. I said, all right. Hold your brake a little bit, because these things got brakes these days. We didn't have brakes back in the day. We didn't have all that bullshit. If we wanted brakes, we put our foot down. So, this kid jumps on this fucking thing and immediately takes off like a bat out of hell. And I'm like, kid, slow down, slow down, slow down. Take your finger off the trigger. He takes his finger off the trigger. He's still flying. He's going down the fucking hill. I said, kid, I was like, ease the brake a little bit. No, this kid don't ease the brake a little bit. This kid snatched that fucking brake. When he did, he went over the fucking handlebars. And I kind of freaked out for a minute. I was like, kid, you okay? Hey, yo, you all right, man? No, I'm good. He jumped up with a smile on his face. He's like, Bo, that was fucking fun. I was like, I bet it was, kid. I was like, how'd that gravel feel? He said, I didn't feel the gravel. I was like, well, you sound just like me and my brothers and sisters when we were growing up, because we didn't have no brakes. We had our foot. We put our foot down, and that's how we stopped ourselves. Y'all got that electric shit these days. So how do you like that?
I see you like I put this stuff in my head.
This is one of the guys I grew up doing this with. This is my big brother, Mike. Mike.
Yo.
Come here a second. You remember them scooters we used to ride back in the day that was pedal footed and we didn't have brakes? We had to stop ourselves, but we had to ramp this down the bottom of the hill. We wanted to go full fledged.
Yeah.
This is one of the boys I used to roll with back in the day that did that shit. Now these kids got it easy. It's all electric. You hit a button and you got an electronic brake. We didn't have that shit back in the day.
I did.
Love you, big bro. But yeah, I grabbed a hold of this kid just before he hit the fucking pavement. I snatched him up. I said, how was that ride? And he said, oh, I love that. Can I do it again? And I'm like, oh, you sound just like me and my homeboys back in the day. We made it out. We had the time of our lives. And you know, even though we got all this new technology and new electronics and shit like that, you know, these kids still deserve to have, you know, a good livelihood and a good repertoire on, you know, growing up how us kids grew up. You know, it's Gen X's and Gen Z's and whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I snatched that kid up so fast, he didn't even realize he wasn't even on the damn scooter no more. I snatched him, I did a barrel roll, I tucked him, and we rolled him in the grass, and the scooter kept going right down the fucking street. It hit the side of this ramp and launched off into the woods. I was like, all right, kid, well, here we go. We got to go find your scooter. That's what we used to do back in the day. So, yeah, it reminded me of feeling like a kid again. And that felt good to see the smile on this kid's face and know that he was having fun. And having the time of his life. So yeah, that meant a lot. That most of this generation don't know what it feels like, what we had in the past. But as long as most of us still alive to show them the fun we had and the experiences that we had and the wisdom that we gained, that's what means the most. So if we can pass on the virtues and the mentality and the wisdom, the advice, the love, the admiration, the respect, the dignity to these kids these days of what we learned back when we were growing up, that would really mean the most, because then we would still have a society that means something. And that's really what it all comes down to. You kids these days, y'all got more shit than me and my boys could ever imagine or fathom growing up with. We didn't have all this electronic bullshit and computers and phones and shit. We wanted a dollar, friend. We'd walk up to the fucking kitchen wall, snatch the receiver off and have a dial where you spun the numbers. And if you didn't get the number right, you'd call somebody else down the street. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to teach this kid something today that we learned back in the day ourselves. Well, guys, I love you. I pray for you. Hope you are having a blessed day. To everyone out there, keep praying, keep God in your heart, keep God in your faith, keep growing as a person, keep growing as a relationship, and a father, son, daughter, whoever with God. Let Him guide you. Let Him make those choices. You pray about it. He'll answer your prayers. It felt good today to see some things that I did as a kid and be able to teach another kid 40 years later of the same things that I got to do when I was a kid, and I learned the hard way. Nowadays, you got to wear a helmet with everything. Back in the day, I went home with skinned up knees, ankles, half a toe missing, got abrasions down the side of my face. I'm all scraped up, and I even had a fish hook go in my fucking eye one time right here. Like, we learned the hard way. And it feels good to know a kid wants to learn the same way this 40 years later. So, yeah, I hope y'all have a blessed night, and, just be thankful for what you got, and thankful for those things that have been given to you, and the morals and the values that you grew up with and were taught as a kid. Because these kids these days ain't going to have that unless us, wiser, more admirable adults that have been through it, teach them something. So I hope that says something to somebody, and somebody's listening. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you do, you do. But everybody have a blessed day. I love you guys. God rest everything that's within you, and may God bless you and guide you on your path in life. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.